You're watching South Asia Newsland, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 24th of December. Indian Space Agency launches heaviest ever satellite to low Earth orbit. Amid India protests, Bangladesh government says it takes responsibility of family of Deepu Das. And Maulana Fazlur Rahman targets Pakistan Army, cites India's Operation Sindoor. And now for all the details. The Indian Space Research Organisation on Wednesday successfully launched the Bluebird Block 2 communication satellite, the heaviest payload to be launched into low Earth orbit in the history of the LVM-3 rocket from the Satish Dhawan Space Station in Andhra Pradesh. With this, the mission is set to deploy the next-generation communication satellite designed to provide high-speed cellular broadband directly to smartphones worldwide. The satellite was successfully placed in orbit and the mission was declared a success. In an exclusive interview to ANI, ISRO Chairman V. Narayanan emphasized that the same LVM-3 rocket has been earmarked for the forthcoming Gaganyaan program. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also commended ISRO, highlighting the mission's significance for India's long-term space ambitions.
23 square meter phased array.
This is the ninth launch mission of LVM-3, and till today, from 2017 to till today, whatever launches done by LVM-3 rocket is 100% success. And this is the same rocket we have earmarked with the human rating level for the Gaganyaan program. This success gives further confidence for going ahead with the Gaganyaan program using this rocket.
Meanwhile, the office of the Chief Advisor of Bangladesh has expressed deep sorrow over the lynching of Hindu man Deepu Chandra Das by an Islamist mob in Manman Singh last week. On behalf of the government, Education Advisor Professor C.R. Abrar visited Deepu's bereaved family on Tuesday, conveying condolences and assuring them full support. Calling the killing a heinous criminal act, Abrar said violence cannot be excused under any circumstances and reaffirmed the interim government's commitment to the rule of law. He said 12 suspects have been arrested so far and investigations are ongoing to ensure justice. The government has also assured financial and welfare assistance to the victim's family. The mob attack on Deepu Das came amid heightened unrest in Bangladesh following the death of prominent student leader Sharif Usman Hadi, who was shot dead by masked gunmen in Dhaka. Hadi was a key figure in last year's anti-government protests that led to the fall of Sheikh Hasina's government. The assurances by the Yunus-led interim government come as protests have erupted in neighbouring India over the killing of Deepu Das, with Hindu right troops expressing concern over the safety of religious minorities in Bangladesh and demanding strict action against those responsible.
उसको लाठियों से मार कर मार दिया गया, हत्या कर दी गई और फिर उसकी लाश को पेड़ पर लटका के उसको जलाया गया। सच में नॉनसेंस बात है ये। हम इसका प्रति रोष प्रकट करते हैं, दुख प्रकट करते हैं कि क्या कर रहे हैं ये बांग्लादेश में। बांग्लादेश में अगर उन्होंने मारना अपने मुसलमानों को मारो, है ना, हमारे हिंदुओं को क्यों मारते हैं? मैं प्रधानमंत्री मोदी से अपील करता हूं कि जैसा पहलगाम में अटैक हुआ था, ये वैसा ही हमारे ऊपर अटैक है। अगर बांग्लादेश को नहीं रोका गया तो कल को ये हमारी सीमा में आकर हमारे हिंदुओं को मारेगा।
And senior Pakistani politician Maulana Fazlur Rahman has publicly questioned the Pakistan Army over cross-border strikes. Addressing a conference in Karachi this week, Rahman condemned Pakistan's military strikes inside Afghanistan, which resulted in civilian casualties. He argued that Pakistan cannot justify attacks across the Afghan border while objecting to India's Operation Sindoor. His remarks came in reference to India's Operation Sindoor, launched on May 7, when Indian armed forces carried out strikes on 9 terror targets in Pakistan and POJK. The operation was conducted in retaliation for the April 22 terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir, in which 26 civilians were killed by terrorists affiliated to an offshoot of Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba. Fazlur Rahman has long been critical of Pakistan's Afghanistan policy and has previously offered to mediate between Islamabad and Kabul amid rising tensions. And the Baloch Yaksheti Committee has raised serious concerns over a surge in the enforced disappearances of Baloch women in Pakistan's Balochistan region. Calling it a grave human rights violation, the group has urged immediate global intervention. A report.
The Baloch Jetty Committee or BYC has voiced serious concern over a sharp rise in the enforced disappearances of Baloch women, calling it a dangerous escalation of human rights violations in Balochistan. Activists say incidents once considered rare and shocking have now become alarmingly frequent, with women and young girls reportedly taken from their homes without warrants or legal procedures, often leaving families without any information about their fate. Rights groups warn that the growing pattern has created widespread fear, trauma, and helplessness within Baloch society, with lasting psychological and social consequences for entire communities. They argue that such actions represent a grave violation of basic human dignity, stressing that silence would only encourage further abuses. The BYC has called for collective resistance beyond political and ideological divides. The committee has urged civil society, human rights organizations, and the international community to take note of the situation and demand the immediate and safe release of all missing Baloch women before the crisis deepens further.
Balochistan has long faced the practice of enforced disappearances, but targeting of Baloch women, including underage girls, mothers with their infant children, and pregnant women, marks a dangerous escalation of state violence. Women in Baloch society have historically been at the forefront of Baloch resistance, as mothers, sisters, daughters, and as an activist. Targeting Baloch women is not incidental. It is a calculated attempt to terrorize the entire communities, break their collective morale, and punish families who are demanding their basic rights. What is most alarming right now is the silence surrounding these crimes. Despite the frequency and severity of these cases, little is expected from the mainstream media, but there is also no outrage from the political parties, human rights organizations, lawyers, and civil society.
And at least 12 Indian fishermen have been arrested by the Sri Lankan Navy on charges of allegedly poaching in international waters. They were intercepted by a surveillance unit of the Sri Lankan Navy while engaging in fishing activities near the waters between Dhanushkodi and Talai Mannar, reports suggest. According to the Tamil Nadu Fisheries Department, the fishermen hailed from India's Rameshwaram and Ramanathapuram. Fisheries Department officials said the fishermen were apprehended along with their mechanized trawler to a naval port in Sri Lanka for further legal proceedings. Local fishermen in India expressed deep concern over the recurring arrest and the impounding of boats, which they say severely affects their livelihoods. They have appealed to both India's Tamil Nadu government and the Indian Union government to intervene diplomatically. Moving on. India's desert region of Jaisalmer and hill town of Shimla are witnessing a massive influx of tourists ahead of Christmas and the New Year. From iconic forts to sweeping sand dunes and vibrant winter carnivals, everything is set to welcome visitors from around the world. A report.
On the occasion of Christmas, the world-famous tourist destination of Jaisalmer is witnessing a massive influx of visitors. From the iconic Sonar Fort and historic Havelis to the vast sand dunes on the city's outskirts, Jaisalmer is buzzing with activity. The surge includes both domestic and international visitors, drawn by the city's heritage and festive charm. Tourists now outnumber residents at several popular spots, with footfalls so high that there is barely room to move, especially during peak hours. The influx has brought cheer to guides, camel safari operators and hospitality workers, as the tourism economy enjoys a sharp seasonal jump.
और अभी हमारा इंडिया आने का प्रोग्राम हुआ तो हमने प्लान किया कि कोई बहुत ही अच्छी सी कोई ट्रिप बनाए, तो ये सबसे अच्छा सा एक जो इस मौसम में सबसे अच्छा हमें लगा कि राजस्थान घूमा जाए। राजस्थान में भी सबसे अच्छा अगर हम देखें तो जैसलमेर, जहाँ पर ड्यून्स, कैमल, एक्चुअल कल्चरल टच है यहाँ पर, तो हम यहाँ पर आए। जितना हमने सोचा था उससे कहीं ज़्यादा हमें पाया। हम आज ही सुबह यहाँ पर आए हैं और हमें बहुत ही मज़ा आ रहा है। इतना क्राउड यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं, सब कुछ बिल्कुल कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ यहाँ पर हो रही है, बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है।
Meanwhile, in Himachal Pradesh, the hill resort of Shimla is also witnessing tourist influx and is prepared to welcome more tourists with the start of the famous winter carnival, just ahead of Christmas and New Year celebrations. Visitors are flocking to the hills in search of pleasant weather and a festive atmosphere. With cultural events, music, and winter celebrations lined up, Shimla has once again emerged as a favorite holiday escape.
अभी यहाँ पे हमें आके ही पता चला कि यहाँ पे विंटर कार्निवल भी लगा हुआ है, जिसमें लोग बहुत इंजॉय कर रहे हैं। डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ फूड हैं, बहुत सारे स्टॉल्स हैं, बहुत इंजॉय कर रहे हैं सब लोग। मेरा मैसेज लोगों को यही है कि सब लोग टाइम निकालें और शिमला घूमने आएं और विंटर कार्निवल यहाँ का देखें, अटेंड करें। काफी अच्छा अरेंजमेंट है, काफी अच्छा है।
And that's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Till then, good night.